devil we're afraid of.
Hello, and welcome back to Marvelous Videos. And nope, we're not over it. Honestly, who is, huh? Whether you've been a bookworm and visualized Pennywise in all the versions, or slept with the lights on when Tim Curry's Pennywise dropped, none of us could stop talking about it ever since. The 1990s miniseries was not perfect. It had its fair share of flaws, and the ending disappointed many, including the director and Curry themselves. However, it's hard to deny that the show built the very foundation on which the latter adaptations stand in all their glory. Also, Lee Wallace did a brilliant job at bringing Pennywise fear to life, amidst all the restraints he had to work his way around. Now, some of the limitations on what Wallace could portray crept into the editing room, where scenes were snipped or shortened in later home video releases. But worry not, because I'm here to dig into the hidden corners of the It miniseries, and find out all those clips that never made it to the screen. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The highly trimmed ending of Part 1. In the second and last episode of It 1990 Part 1, the timeline has already leaped 30 years forward, but Pennywise was still eagerly waiting for the Losers Club. Mike Hanlon called all the members to inform them that nothing had changed in Derry, and the creature was very much present to haunt them. Unable to cope with the fear of Pennywise all over again, Stan Uris committed suicide by slitting his wrists in the bathtub. The scene showed his wife entering the bathroom with a can of beer and a glass, only to find Stan's clothes neatly folded aside and a razor blade placed above the bathtub, before discovering Stan's lifeless body in it. The original one had a prolonged scream from his shocked wife, and the cabin glass falling on the floor before the camera then cut to reveal It written on the bathroom wall in blood. And with a "to be continued" text, the scene transitioned to the end credits as Pennywise's hysterical laughter echoed in the background. The opening credits. Honestly, we did miss out on the beautiful montage-style title sequence that Part 2 had. It began with scrapbook pictures of the cast in the town, fading from 1960 to 1990, which was the present era for the adult storyline. Viewers were supposed to witness the scene shift from black and white to color, and followed the opening of the infamous sewer, and bam! Pennywise's presence would have been perfectly established, rather accentuated. Bill's return. When the DVD and Blu-ray were released, parts of the opening scene were removed. Though they weren't really significant for the story to progress, the sequences could have definitely added more nuance to the narrative. Unless you have an elephant's memory or manage to lay your hands on the 2 VHS tapes from the 90s, there's a good chance that you don't remember Bill's return to Derry. The scene followed an adult Bill Hanscom taking a cab ride through Derry before stopping to check in at a hotel. However, the part where he was greeted by an over-enthusiastic desk clerk who kept badgering him with endless chatter, and the one where Bill went into the room wondering whether he had made the right decision in returning to the town at all, were removed. In the later releases, when Warner Brothers took charge of them, the studio decided to try to edit the two halves of It and turned it into one long movie. They in fact did so by removing essential segments of the ending credits of Part 1 and the opening sequence of the second. Warner Bros. Just lazily chopped off these scenes to prevent showing the credits rolling. Being the big shot studio it has been, it could have just found the resources to edit the credits and somehow retain the scenes, especially for the Blu-ray release, which anyway required a new HD scan of the film elements. The one where Bill visited the cemetery. During the opening credits scene for It Part 2, Bill's journey through the roads of Derry after all these years oozed a sense of nostalgia and impending doom. The sequence had Bill conversing with a taxi driver, seeing the Paramount movie theater, and finally reaching the graveyard where his brother Georgie was buried. The tombstone had Georgie's birth and death dates written as 1954 to 1956. Confirming that the childhood part of the show was set in the 60s instead of 1958. This scene too was barely touched upon in the video format. Beverly falls into the bathtub. Unfortunately, there isn't much concrete information on all the deleted scenes from the miniseries, but thanks to the lucky ones who caught a glimpse of it when it first aired and later shared details on platforms like Reddit, we got to know a bit more. Apparently, there were 4 scenes involving Beverly Marsh's bloody sink. We did get to see the one where Beverly heard voices coming up from the sink and a balloon burst, flooding it with blood, which Bev then cleaned up. However, there were supposed to be 3 more. The second would have shown the blood returning no matter how much Bev cleaned, and feeling helpless, she would curl up in fear. Third would have featured Beverly calling all 6 boys to help her clean the sink, and in this version, the blood would not return. The final one showed her dressing up all pretty to either go to church or to Stan's bar mitzvah, only to fall backward into the bathtub just as the blood once again flooded the sink. Marvelous verdict. Alright folks, that's all we have for today. The thing is, deep in our hearts, we know that there might be a couple more scenes that are still tucked away in the darkness. Nonetheless, these deleted scenes in the latter releases and home videos were definitely uncalled for. They would have perfectly enhanced the spooky aura Derry held after all those years. Moreover, trimming some of the scenes made no sense other than to reduce the runtime. Intricacies in dialogue are what set the very ambient tone for horror movies like it. It's not just about seeing Pennywise on screen, it's a lot more about feeling his lingering essence, which is powerful enough to shake everyone, let alone the Losers Club. In short, yes, we did miss out on some great storytelling, irrespective of their significance as plot points. As much as it is a creature tale, it's a character-driven story too. Focusing on the reactions and discussions would have made it 10 times better in my opinion. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone!